No one noticed him when he walked in barefoot, carrying the smell of dust and struggle with every step. The wedding hall was glowing with lights, laughter, and luxury, but he stood there like a forgotten shadow, a boy the world had already judged and discarded. People thought he had wandered in by mistake, another trash picker lost in a place meant for the rich. What no one knew was that within minutes, this boy would silence the room and turn his pain into a moment worth 10 crore. Before we go deeper into this story, if you believe that kindness, second chances, and hidden talent still exist in this world, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The boy's life had never known comfort. He grew up on the edge of the city, where the air smelled of garbage and survival was a daily battle. His mornings began before sunrise, not for school, but to search through waste for plastic bottles and scraps he could sell. Hunger was a familiar companion, and sleep often came on empty stomachs. His clothes were torn not by fashion but by time, rain, and hard labor. Yet, even in that harsh life, there was something inside him that refused to die. A voice. A melody. A quiet habit of humming songs while walking through filth, turning pain into rhythm. Music became his escape, his only luxury. He never learned from a teacher, never touched an instrument. He learned from broken radios, distant wedding songs, and the echo of his own voice against concrete walls. At night, when the city slept, he sang to the stars, believing they were the only ones listening. He never imagined people would pay to hear him. He only sang to survive. That day, fate dragged him into a world that was never meant for him. A grand wedding filled with flowers, silk clothes, and powerful people. He had followed the sound of music, drawn like a moth to light. When he stepped inside, whispers followed him. Eyes judged him. Faces tightened with discomfort. To them, he was dirt in a palace. Security hesitated. Guests stared. Some laughed silently, others felt annoyed that such a boy could ruin their perfect celebration. The groom, confident and wealthy, noticed the boy standing awkwardly near the stage. To him, the boy looked like a challenge, a joke, an opportunity to show power. He pointed, demanding attention, offering money not out of kindness but out of ego. The hall waited. People expected embarrassment, failure, laughter. No one expected courage. The boy stepped forward with trembling legs. His hands shook, not from fear of singing, but from fear of hope. He had been insulted his whole life, ignored, pushed aside. This moment felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing that falling was easy but flying was impossible. Yet he lifted his head, closed his eyes, and breathed in. When his voice filled the hall, everything changed. It wasn't just singing. It was raw emotion pouring out. Pain shaped into melody. Years of hunger, rejection, and loneliness wrapped into every note. His voice carried the weight of broken dreams and the purity of innocence untouched by greed. The crowd froze. Conversations stopped. Smiles vanished. Even the flowers seemed to listen. People who had judged him seconds ago now felt something heavy in their chests. Some felt shame. Others felt tears forming without understanding why. The bride, dressed in gold and elegance, stared in disbelief. The groom's confidence slowly cracked. The boy sang not to impress, but to survive, and that honesty struck deeper than any polished performance. By the time the song ended, the silence was louder than applause. Then claps began slowly, spreading like fire. Some stood. Some cried. Some realized they had been wrong about life itself. That boy was no longer invisible. He was unforgettable. What followed changed his destiny. The same people who ignored him now wanted to know his name. Offers came. Opportunities opened. The song spread beyond the hall, beyond the city. What was meant to be humiliation became history. That one moment turned into a fortune no one thought possible. 10 crore was no longer just money, it became proof that talent does not need permission, only a chance. But the most powerful change wasn't the money. It was dignity. The boy who once searched garbage now stood with respect. His mother no longer cried herself to sleep. His nights were no longer cold. Yet he never forgot where he came from. He returned to the streets, not to beg, but to help. He built shelters, fed children, and taught them what he had learned without books, that dreams survive even in the darkest places. If this story is touching your heart right now, if you feel a lump in your throat or hope in your chest, please like this video, comment your feelings, and share it. Stories like this remind us why humanity still matters. Before this story ends, I want you to comment one word that this story made you feel. Hope. Pain. Faith. Tears. Whatever it is, let your voice be heard. Because sometimes, the world doesn't need more rich people. It needs more moments where we learn not to judge a soul by their clothes. That boy didn't just sing a song. He sang the truth. And the world finally listened.